What's up, boys and girls? My name is Jeffrey, and I just want to fire up the video and get a few thoughts down. Actually, I want to document my energy right now. There's a lot going on in the world, in news and politics, racial relations. I'm kind of worn out by it. Life reminds me that life is most times much bigger and broader and stronger and faster and more than even in my genius can handle. Being human, I do have limitations on the amount of stress that can be placed on me. And it's not that I break or go into a depression. Well, depression is relative. For me, this is like a depression. For other people, it may just be a Tuesday. But with the novel COVID-19 thing and everything shut down, and there's no fire, there's no excitement, there's no fire. For the last 3 years, since like 2016, into 2016, 2017, I've been basically running on your adrenaline. There was always something next. There's always going someplace next, planets next, Europe, Egypt, whatever. P-Funk, Steelers, LA Maggot shows. There was always Backyard Summer Jam, and there was always something. And now, for the last 3 months or so, there's been basically nothing as far as extracurricular activities that I usually indulge myself in. And I'm realizing how much energy I got from that life. Waking up, planning, Google Flights, and Booking.com, and rental cars, and all that stuff. And I'm just flat right now. And that may be why the world is so energized into this whole Black Lives Matter racial thing, protests and all that's going on now, because they say this is the largest protest in the history of mankind. And I think it's all culminating. I think it's a culmination of all the movements all the way back from the Vietnam War. All these type of people, and I say these type because it seems to be, and it may be just natural for kids or at a certain age, when they come of that 16, 17, 18, 19 age, to be involved and want to participate and get in on it and touch it and be a part. But the people I saw at the last protest, they were too young to remember Occupy, but it was the same type. It was the same characteristics, the same type, like they were taught, like it's the parent, like it's the kids of the Occupy people or whatever, but it really wasn't that long ago. So I'm thinking every year, all the way back from the 60s or whatever, there's a group of teenagers who come up and they want to have something to say, they want to be involved, they want to be a part. Some of them just want to party, some of them want to hang out. As I've said before, protesting is fun. Being out there is just fun. It's energizing. And now that they have cameras and TV and you see your protests on TV, it's even more energizing. So right now there's a lot of attention and sympathy and compassion and passion for Black Lives Matter and for Black people, and everything. People are into it. People are severely into it, to the point where it's annoying me, and to the point that where I can almost guarantee there will be a backlash. I can almost guarantee there will be a backlash, because I used to consider myself liberal and left, but lately and recently, the left and liberals are just too annoying. They just get on my nerves. It's almost like I can't stand them. I can't stand here the way they talk. I can't stand their policies. I can't. It sounds like they're whining all the time and pleading. And it's always seems like it's always somebody else needs to do something. And it's just the disposition, like I said, even the way they talk, even the cadence and the manner in which they just talk, and they talk to you, and they want to make it go. And I was trying that whole thing, just the whole narrative, everything about it. And Don Lemon, he's become a star. He's a star now, and you can see it in his actions on TV, and he's just super irritating. But he is supposed to be super irritating to me. That's his job. That's his job, to do what he does until it just rubs the fuck out of my last nerve. That is what he's supposed to do, and that's why I love him. But I can't stand his ass. Do what you do. Watching Fox News, Tucker Carlson had something on about the Black Lives Matter, and I don't know how much it was editorial and sensationalism, but he said Black Lives Matter is now like the most famous thing in the history of life itself. He was saying Black Lives Matter movement is more popular than the president, than Biden, than everything. And the numbers are just off the chart because of the outpouring. And it may be due to the fact that we're all sitting here with nothing to do, nowhere to go. But yeah, it's got me flat. I mean, I'm doing okay at work. I think I could be doing better. I did some stuff yesterday. My weight went way up. That was bad. That was severe. That's really kind of got me flat. My weight went way up. I was up 216 the other night. It was an anomaly weight. 216 was on the high end. It was like right before I go to bed, I just ate stupid stuff. And I know I did. And then I woke up the next morning, I think it had dropped down to 212. But even 212 at 10 a.m. is high. Because remember, I was down to like 200. 203, 202. But today I was at 209. I got myself together a little bit yesterday, so I think we're making a little bit of recovery. And just my mentality and my energy and my spirit is like, I'm just like, and with these recent hangings or suicides, the police brutality stuff doesn't bother me. The police brutality stuff doesn't bother me for whatever reason. But these hangings do. These hanging things, they bother me. That bothers me. Because this could catch on and turn into something like school shootings and bombings. There'll be copycat, and there'll be extremist groups or bored boys or whatever. And one of the reasons it scares me is because if I'm sick of the left, and if I'm sick of seeing all this compassion and passion for black males, now don't get this wrong, you got to be a little bit nuanced in what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the officers are right. I'm saying if I'm out there and I'm white and everything I say and do is being perceived as wrong, and every other demographic is being promoted and advertised and hyped, every other gender, and it's almost like a war on the white homosexual male. For me to be out there and then to see black criminals. Now, okay, we got a nuance to stay with me. Just because they are black criminals, and you got to call them that, they broke the law, they did not deserve to die. So you got to nuance it. You got to say the policemen are wrong, but that don't make the victim completely innocent. Sure. Now, you can't, if you say he does not deserve to die, I agree. I agree with that. At least for the sake of argument right now. We can have that whole when is a policeman allowed to use deadly force argument later. But you're sitting up there, you're watching, you're a white male, white homosexual male, you're seeing all this attention and compassion going out, and you're almost demonized. Basically, it's almost like you're demonized. Let's face it. You know, I can see where there'll be a backlash, especially if you ain't got much going on, you ain't got no job. Looks like you're being left behind. You know, but you do got guns and firepower. And maybe you're living in rural Kansas or Pennsylvania, and you seeing all these niggers get attention. That is the backlash that scares me. That is the backlash that, well, maybe not scares me, but has my attention. Because if I'm sick of the left and all these liberal compassion, inclusion, free college, free everything, give them minorities everything, all that. If I'm sick of it, I can imagine with somebody who may or may not be borderline racist or who doesn't have exposure to people of color or ethnicity. There's some people out there who don't have ethnicity around them. Black people ain't everywhere. There are places where there's like one or two black people. And again, I got to check the statistics, and I probably should. I think they'll back me. There are more people like that in the middle of the country than there are living in the city, integrated and used to ethnicity. Like when I went to Russia, Moscow, they don't see black people over there, and it was obvious. It was obvious. Let's not think that don't y'all think black people everywhere. Don't y'all think that people should be used to black people now and black people everywhere. That's only when you fly in your New Yorks and your Chicagos and your LAs and your San Franciscos that you fly to as you fly over all these rural cities. Those are the people that situation. And I think that the news isn't promoting it. They could promote the hell out of it. They could super sensationalize this whole four black men hung, 4 people of color hung from a tree. 2 of them within 50 miles. They could go with that story, and they can just hype that up and have us all in a tizzy. But I think they're keeping it down. They don't want copycat people up there saying, "Oh yeah, look, we're getting traction now. Let's get some more. We're getting traction. Let's go grab a few more." And these are isolated groups. There's no conspiracy. All of them are just saying, "Oh, they're calling each other at night. All right, you get one, I get one." It's just people acting in autonomy under that same narrative or guise to get that attention or just make that mark. And I think the news may be downplaying it and not saying anything. And I'll say you else, if they find out that those were not suicides and the police initially called them a suicide, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem. And if they were suicides, that's tragic too. That's tragic at a whole different level. That might even spark things where black men are all of a sudden going out killing themselves. Legitimately, black men committing suicide for whatever reason. That could start a trend. But that's the thing that worries me. The police brutality doesn't worry me too much. I understand that they're bad cops. I understand maybe cops by nature have to be. And I do my best just to avoid it. And when I do encounter it, tail between my legs, hands showing. Some people say, well, even if you do that, you can end up dead, Jeffrey. Don't you know that? No, I don't. It's not been my experience. I see 3, 4, 5, maybe 10, 12, maybe 20 black men killed by police. But I know that police stop maybe 50,000. There's probably 50,000 stops a day. So 20 out of like 10 million. The overwhelming majority of policemen are not that. Rogue, and they're probably angry. Probably they could even be trigger happy, scared, undertrained. But I don't think nowhere, maybe 1% has malice. A lot of people say they join the police force so they can bang on people's heads. There's probably something to do that, small percentage. That's just how I feel. Like I said, because there's millions of interactions of police and people, suspects or whatever. In the far majority, nothing really happens. But that does not mean that the police brutality doesn't exist. I'm not saying police brutality doesn't exist. I'm not saying it needs to be addressed. I'm saying it needs to be looked at. We need to find out what's going on. I may be saying that it's going to exist no matter what you do. You're going to have a certain percentage no matter what you do. Just like in all professions, doctors, teachers, you're going to have bad teachers, you're going to have bad policemen, you're going to have bad firemen, you're going to have bad gynecologists, whatever. Contractors, bricklayers, you're going to have bad. It's just going to be an underlying percentage of people that you'll never get rid of, no matter how much you try to legislate, no matter how much you try to weed it out. You won't be able to do it. Anyway, not sure how long I went on this thing. I can't tell. I can't see the the meter on this new OBS. Doesn't say how long I've been recording. Wish I could see it. I'm gonna stay here till I find it. Doesn't say how long I've been recording. Anyhow, my name is Jeffrey, and just wanted to get that down. Made me feel better. That made me feel better. See, am I down too low? I don't like it that low. I like it like this. You know, I like my stuff really up high. That's where I like it. That's better. That's much better, huh? Anyway, checking y'all out. Jeffrey Mitchell, swinging on y'all 2 times. What's my name?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Jeffrey.
welcome
Jeffrey
to
Mitchell.
Jeffrey TV.
Peace and positive energy to all y'all. Peace and positive energy to everybody out there. We need to think. We need to talk. We need to discuss. We need to have discussion and leave the emotion on the back burner. My name is Jeffrey. Swinging on y'all twice.